Welcome back, shot benders. If you're struggling with contact with your irons and are chasing that perfect contact, this video is going to show you how to do it in 3 easy steps. Let's get started. So if you're struggling hitting the ball solid or hitting the ground first or thinning the ball, this video is going to show you how to do that. So let's get started with step number 1. Step number 1 is how we use our hips in the backswing, okay? So I've taught thousands of lessons, and time again, what I see in the backswing is the hips and shoulders moving pretty far back in the backswing as people try to load up. So what we want to do is turn our hips and shoulders as much as we can, but we don't want our hips going past that right heel or past that right foot, okay? So what I see a lot of the time is when the hips go past that right foot, now we just move the low point back. So meaning we're going to hit the ground first before we get to the ball. Okay? So if you do that enough times and you're hitting the ground, what people tend to do is start to bend the elbows and wrists. Now you have that chicken wing going. That's also what's going to cause you to thin the ball or top the ball. All right. So in an effort to hit it further, we move our hips back, and now we're hitting the ground or topping the ball, and it's not going far at all. So what we really need to do is turn centered and not let those hips move backwards too much. Okay. So now you can start to see that those shots where we hit the ground first or top the ball are really coming from the same place, and that's us moving our hips too far backwards, okay? So a good drill to help you turn centered is to just take the club, put it across your chest, and point the butt end of the club at the ball there. So if you're moving your hips back and doing that, now that butt end of the club is going to point more towards that right leg, all right? So we want to turn as much as we can still, but we want to make sure that our club is pointing more at the ball rather than behind it. So step number 2 would be, once we make a good turn without moving our hips back, is to shift our weight fully to that left leg. All right, shifting our weight to that left leg almost guarantees good contact, right? So if the club head represents where my low point is, if I move back and turn, now my low point is still behind the golf ball. But now if I can turn centered and then shift my weight to the left side, now you can see where I would hit the ground. So I would hit the ball first, then the ground. So turning centered, sliding, ball first, low point is in front of the golf ball here. So how do I want you shifting your weight properly? So what I want you to feel is the first half of your downswing, you're just shifting your weight to the left side, okay? There's been a lot of talk of how you should rotate in the downswing, but you can see if I start to rotate too quickly on the downswing, I'm gonna start to have some direction and contact issues there, right? So you really don't want to start rotating until you've shifted your weight completely to that left side there. Now you can go ahead and start rotating and getting distance that way. All right. So that's going to be big for you slicers, right? So if you're tending to turn from the top, we're going to cut across the ball and it's going to start to slice. Where if we can go ahead and shift that weight first, now you can see how easy it is to swing from in to out or to the right. Awesome. So now that we're turning centered and shifting our weight to the lead leg, the next thing we want to do is work on our path, our club path. So from here, our path wants to travel in to out or to the right, okay? So club path is very important for a lot of reasons, okay? So club path is pretty important not only for direction, but for contact as well. So if we are swinging out to in, what we'll tend to do is bottom out too soon, bottom out, thin shots, top shots, right? But when we start to swing in to out, what that does is shallow out our swing. So why is it important to shallow out the swing? So swinging in to out shallows out the club path, which allows us to hit the ball much more solidly, right? So it's not just for direction and power, it's for consistent contact as well. So to consistently contact the ball, we want to approach the ball from almost hitting the inside part of the golf ball and swinging out to the right there. Okay? So this club path is part of the reason why I wanted you to shift your weight so well in the second step there, right? Because if we don't shift our weight, what we're going to do is rotate. And now we're not swinging in to out anymore. Now we're swinging out to in. So turning centered got us in the position to start to shift. Now that shift got us into position to go ahead and shallow out the club and swing in to out. So if you don't shift your weight properly, you messed up all the good work you've done to get to that point. Because if we don't shift, we're going to start rotating too soon, and now we're hitting the ground and thinning the shots. Where if we can shift properly, now it becomes really easy to swing out to the right there. So if you rotate too soon, you messed up all that good work you did in step 1 and 2, because now we're coming over the top anyway. All right, so we want to turn centered, shift, and continue swinging out to the right. So here I'm going to demonstrate a few shots on the 3 steps that we've been working on. Okay, so all I'm trying to do is turn centered, shift my weight to the lead leg, and swing to the right. Okay. And you can see as I'm hitting these shots, none of these are slicing. Okay. So as long as you have somewhat of a square face, swing to the right or into out is going to be the fastest way to swing, and it's going to help you draw the golf ball. Okay. So there you have it. If you follow these 3 steps, you're going to be striking the ball much more consistently, and you're going to start to feel what that pure strike feels like when you hit the ball first, then the ground, that compression off the golf ball that you've probably heard about. So if this video helped you, tap the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to continue getting better at golf, and I'll see you at the next video. Thanks for watching.